Good morning, guys. It is Friday, January the 6th, and I want to talk today about a line on page 77. It says, our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. So, meaning the whole purpose of us living now is to be of maximal service to God, a God of our own understanding. Your God doesn't have to be the same as my God, and vice versa. To be of maximum service to God and to the people about us. So what does that mean? It means a couple things. I call it the Planet Fitness mentality. When I go to Planet Fitness, I don't go walking through Planet Fitness and go, gee, I bet they can't run an 8-minute mile. Or, gee, I can't. I bet they can't lift 200 pounds. I don't do that shit. Because you know what? I remember not too long ago when I couldn't run an 8-minute mile. Planet Fitness, they say that they're a judgment-free zone, and I love that because that's how we should be living, right? We shouldn't be judgmental. We should not be in the business of judging others because today we should only be worried about keeping our side of the street clean. Typically, when we start judging others, when we start being judgmental, there's something about that person, something about them that we see in ourselves, and we just don't want to admit it. That's why the book is very, very thorough about making sure we take that daily inventory. Step 10, we take a daily inventory, and we keep our side of the street clean, okay? We can't be of maximal service to God and to others if we're too busy being judgmental. That's just not how it's going to work. Matter of fact, that's going to stand in our way. And anything that stands in our way is a threat to our sobriety, period. I don't want threats to my sobriety. Matter of fact, my sobriety, I protect at all costs, period. So, it's easy to find the character defects and find the flaws in other people, but I go back to this. I have a lot of those flaws myself. People are so ready to identify the characteristics and defects and flaws in me. That's okay. I know I'm aware of my character defects, and I pray daily, continually, for God to remove those. People are going to judge me, and that's okay. I can't control what other people do, but I can control what I do, and I don't want to judge others because that stands in my way of being useful to God and to my fellows. The other thing I want to talk about is tolerance. There may be things that people do or say that just aggravate the mortal shit out of me. That's okay too, because again, life on life's terms, we can't control what other people do or say. We can only control what we do and say. And so if somebody is saying or doing something that just aggravates the shit out of me, I always go back to me, keeping my side of the street clean. There were a lot of things I did and said before I got sober that aggravated the shit out of people. There were a lot of things I did before I got sober that people had to tolerate, and I expected them to tolerate it. I expected it, which is unfair to them, but that's how us drug addicts and alcoholics are, right? We need to be tolerant of others, whether we agree with their opinions and their philosophies and their behaviors or not. We have to tolerate. We have to be tolerant of them because, like the book says, especially if we're working with an addict or an alcoholic, they're sick just like we are, period. So, again, I go back to all the people that had to tolerate me before I got sober. And, of course, all the people that had to tolerate me after I got sober, too. I'm not an easy basket to carry around, that's for damn sure. So we need to maintain tolerance, being judgment-free, and being tolerant of people, loving them regardless, showing compassion and caring for them regardless of whether or not we agree with them or disagree with them. Because at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. Whenever we all die, we all go into the same hole in the earth, right? It doesn't matter how we believed or what we did. At the end of the day, all that matters is were we good to other people. And again, I go back to that line on 77. I want to be of maximal service to God and to my fellows because that's how I stay sober. And the last thing I want to touch on is, when we go into these rooms of AA or NA, there may be people in there we don't like. That's okay. Remember, we're in a room full of drug addicts and alcoholics. There may be people in there that we don't like. I may walk in a room and there may be people go, man, I don't like that Drew guy. Okay, life on life's terms. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to have that opinion. They're allowed to not like me. I'm allowed to not like them. But again, the one thing that stands true is I don't have necessarily, the big book talks about nothing. It doesn't say anything about having to like everybody. But it does say, it's very clear cut and there's no exceptions. We do have to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and our fellows. So whether we like them or not, we need to be ready to serve them, to help them, to be of service to them. There's quite a few people in the rooms that we just have personality clashes. No doubt about it. We just have personality differences. I don't have to like them, but I'm not going to allow a resentment to build up for that person because that jeopardizes my sobriety. And again, my sobriety is the number one thing in my life. I'm going to protect that at all costs. So I'm not going to, sure, I may not like somebody because of personality differences. That's okay. But I'm not going to let that stand in the way. Even the people that I may not like, if they ask for help, I'm going to help them. If they need something, I'm going to try my best to help them. Because it has nothing to do with, our recovery has nothing to do with personalities. It all has to do with ourselves. And if we can't get past ourselves, well, hell, we're going to end up right back in the same place we were before because that's what got us there. We could never get past ourselves. We wanted to play God. We wanted to be judgmental. We wanted to be intolerant. We were playing God, and that's not our role. And that's how I ended up being a drunk. I'm beyond that now. It's okay if you don't like somebody. You don't have to like everybody. But for sure, you still want to show them compassion, caring, loving, understanding. You still want to show them the same attributes and same characteristics that you would demonstrate to the common stranger, to yourself. All right. So anyway, that's all I got for you this morning. I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. I woke up a little late, so I got to get to the gym today. I got another 5 miles to knock out. But remember, keep your coins with you. I keep this coin. I mean, I'm usually holding this coin pretty much the majority of my day, except for when I'm typing or something like that. But I use this coin to remind myself of you guys and just kind of keep you guys in my prayers all throughout the day. So. Anyway, love you guys, and remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.